Someone at my job was filing anonymous complaints about me, and for months, I genuinely thought I was just messing everything up. It started small. A meeting note saying I'd been unprofessional with a client. Then an email from HR about tone concerns. Nothing serious on its own, just enough to make me second guess myself. I remember rereading my emails late at night, trying to figure out what I'd said wrong. I've always been careful at work, maybe a little too careful, so it didn't make sense. But I still assumed it was me. That's the part that gets to you. You start adjusting everything. The way you speak, the way you write, even how often you ask questions. Then the complaints kept coming. Missed deadlines I knew I hadn't missed, comments I never made. At one point I was called into a meeting and told there was a pattern forming. That word stuck with me. Pattern. I remember sitting there thinking, how can there be a pattern if I don't even know what I'm doing wrong? After that, I started keeping track of everything. Screenshots, timestamps, copies of emails. I even wrote down what I said in meetings right after they ended, just in case. I felt paranoid, but I didn't know what else to do. Things got worse anyway. A complaint came in about a client call I supposedly handled badly. The problem was, I hadn't even been on that call. I checked the schedule 3 times. It wasn't mine. That's when something shifted. For the first time, I thought maybe this wasn't a misunderstanding. A few days later, I stayed late to finish a report. Most of the office had already left. The lights were dim, and it was quiet enough that every small sound stood out. That's when I heard my name. Not spoken loudly, just mentioned casually from the next cubicle row. I didn't mean to listen, but I froze. It was my coworker, the one who always smiled at me in meetings, who sometimes even helped me when I was behind. She was talking to someone else, laughing softly, saying, "They actually believe it. I didn't think it would be this easy." My chest tightened. I stayed completely still. Then she said something that made everything click into place. I just copy their writing style, tweak a few details, and send it from a new account. I didn't confront her. I didn't move. I just sat there, listening to them talk like it was nothing. The next morning, I went straight to HR with everything I had saved. They investigated quietly, compared writing patterns, timestamps, internal logs. A week later, she was gone. No announcement, no explanation. People just said she'd left suddenly. Everything went back to normal after that. The complaint stopped completely. My record was cleared. My manager even apologized. But what stays with me isn't what she did. It's how easy it was. How quickly everyone believed something was wrong with me. And how for a while I believed it too.